Welcome to AlphaCars and Motorcycles. My name is Dmitry. I'm here with Ian, and we are reporting from our service center at our Boxborough location. We're just about to begin a very interesting job. We thought we'd share it with our YouTube viewers and our motorcycle customers, especially ones that ride Ural motorcycles. So here we have 2015 Ural Gear Up. This bike, as intended, was used all year round, including in the winter. And at the time of the purchase, this bike is a stock configuration motorcycle. Stock configuration means it has no powder coating on the drivetrain, and it doesn't have any special protection on the underbody. So today we have it in for service, and we're doing a rim recall where all three wheels, actually four wheels, including the spare, get removed from the bike, and then we change the rims. But the purpose of this video is just to show how the bike holds up in the true winter conditions here in New England. And this bike, unfortunately, did not have the factory undercoating. And the factory undercoating, it's pretty substantial, like a bed liner material that is applied from the factory, and it's applied under the paint before the bike gets painted. So let's take a look at that and do the inspection together. We're going to start from the rear fender. And what we did here, we already did a little bit of prep work because we needed to call the customer and give them an estimate on our recommended scope of work. And we knew there was some bubbly paint, so we had to scrape that off to kind of get a feel for the extent of the damage. So the good news is the metal is still there. Most of the rust is surface rust. And you can still see, I'm gonna actually get, we're gonna get this made in USA, Stanley screwdriver. And what I'm gonna do is when you look at your bike, it looks like this is fine, but actually this is not fine. And look at how not fine this is. So it is deceiving, and because once the moisture gets there, it is actually pretty bad. It gets pretty bad. So we're still in the evaluation stage, and we asked our technician to give us a few minutes to check this out. So I'm just showing you what we're gonna be looking at on this bike. So just to give you an idea, so if you see some paint, it doesn't mean it's all good news. So this is somewhat good news that the metal is not badly damaged, but it's really bad news that there is rust there. But the timing is such that we will have some options for this customer, and we'll definitely talk about these options. So it's not as bad over here, but it's definitely getting rusty. So yeah, you can say, wow, this is so bad. This is so bad. How can manufacturer do this? You'd be surprised what we see. Would be looking at a $100,000 Ford Bronco that spent 3 months in the winter, and it's devastating. It is absolutely devastating. So if you have a nice vehicle, any vehicle, and if you drive it in the winter, it's never too late to do the rust damage evaluation. The rust damage will be there, but the extent of the damage could be evaluated, and the proper recommendations should be made, and then the follow-up work should be made to restore the metal protection, repair the rust and restore the metal protection. So we're still in evaluation stage here, and so that was the sidecar fender. We are going to look at the front fender. So Ural metal is quite substantial. It's a lot thicker than you usually see on motor vehicles. So there's definitely a lot of metal, and if you ignore it, even with this rust developing, it's still going to hold up longer than most other motor vehicle parts because, again, the thickness of the metal is dramatic. But the best thing is to keep an eye on the rust. This one is a little bit too late. Let's take a look at this tub. This one is actually looking reasonably good. We haven't poked around. You can see some rust developing here. So we're gonna clean that and kind of keep going until we see fresh metal. So it doesn't look that bad. I see some spots in the back. So we're still in the learning stage, in the evaluation stage of working on this bike. And here's some bonus footage for you. If you're wondering, how does the Ural look when it's up on the lift? So we can see the engine here, and here is the exhaust. This is when there was a dual muffler down low, the early ones. Here's the brake pedal. Here's the linkage mechanism that goes to the hydraulic master cylinder for the sidecar brake. And here's the metal braided hose that brings the brake fluid pressure to the Brembo caliper on a sidecar wheel. And there's some cool adjustments there. This is the reverse gear lever. That's a two-wheel drive lever right there. So, and then there's a drive shaft back there. And the drive shaft brings the torque to these splines right here. And then these splines transmit the torque and drive the sidecar wheel. And it all is propelled by this final drive. So on a single wheel drive, Ural motorcycle or BMW motorcycle or any motorcycle with a drive shaft, it all just stops right there. With Ural, there is a two-wheel drive engage, disengage mechanism lever right here, and it literally just connects. It becomes a solid axle at this point, and it connects this flange to the flange of the final drive shaft output. And then you can see splines on this side, and then the splines drive the rear wheel of the bike, which is always on, and the sidecar wheel is on demand. And then this has U-joints. The newer ones have CV joints. And
you can see the shaft drive going through through the frame,
absolutely,
the
good point. So there's a drive shaft with two very cute heavy-duty U-joints, and the splines are right there, the drive shaft splines. So that's, that's like a miniature version of the car rear-wheel drive, classic rear-wheel drive system. So that was a great segment just to introduce you to the initial scope of work, and then we're going to be learning throughout, making progress, and we will keep you updated in this video. So stay with us.
A few days have passed, and we've done a lot more work on this Ural, so let's check out where we're at. Dmitry did an awesome job introducing this video, but now I'm going to take over here as we explore. We kind of had a change of plan as well as to what's happening with the fenders, so I will get into that in a few minutes. But for now, let's take a look at the bike as it stands here on the lift. So what we've done is, of course, remove all the fenders. So we've removed the sidecar fender, the bike's rear fender there, and of course the front fender, as we just saw. And we were refinishing the frame in these locations. So we can see this surrounding location. The frame is a deep black now, looks really nice. It was a little kind of crusty before, I guess you could say. It was very weathered. And now we can see the fork legs are looking awesome. Of course, we can see the bearings in there. That's why the Ural front suspension works so well and is so sturdy. And even the caliper bracket has been done. And now looking at the back of the bike, once again, all the deep black, even the sidecar frame, it all just looks really, really nice. It's gonna really add to the whole look of the bike once everything's back together. Because of course, if we refinish the fenders or put new fenders on and then the surrounding areas were still kind of looking a little worse for wear, then it would definitely detract from the overall look. But now it's gonna really look nice. And we may have noticed the chip guard has been applied. We can see this black chip guard, and it goes along all these seams as a factory bike would. I will show you, we have a 2024 model with the factory undercoating, so I'll go over there in a second and we can compare. But we use a very similar material with this chip guard, and it does an awesome job fighting against corrosion. Really, letting corrosion start in the first place, because it doesn't allow the paint to like chip off and then the metal surface to be exposed. And we can see it goes along the whole underside of the sidecar, and it looks really, really nice. Like, even check out the lines there. It really looks like it came that way from the factory. It's awesome. We've done a lot of these bikes, and the customers are always very happy with the outcome. So now as we look at the factory chip guard, of course these new bikes, they have the body paint applied over it right at the factory. So apart from the color match, which this customer didn't mind the black chip guard, you can see the lines with where it follows along this sort of seam of the sidecar construction. It's all the same on these new bikes. And we can see even the texture. If you look at the texture there, it's almost like a bed liner texture. It's really presents the same. If I can get the camera to adjust here, there we have some light on the black surface. So all looking very, very nice. Now, let's take a quick walk over in our reconditioning bay to the original fenders. So these definitely, they could be refinished, anything is possible, but we always look for the most cost-effective solution. And the Ural parts are actually very, very affordable to buy. So we actually are replacing all 3 of these fenders with brand new ones. And we can just see the paint kind of delaminating. They've had previous touch-ups in the past to kind of get by temporarily, as we can see there. So the amount of labor that would go into, refinishing these would be pretty extensive, and then you're still, even the best body shop or paint technician, it's still gonna be hard to match a factory paint job as you get on factory parts from where they're originally made. So that's where we have 3 new ones right here. And you may wonder, well, can you get them brand new with this camo paint scheme? The answer is no, unfortunately. So these are still curing the undercoating on them. We can see the underside's black. We applied this coating, so the same kind of rubberized, textured chip guard has been applied, and it looks really, really nice. But we can see they are, this is just masking tape, it's not a design. We can see they are just a sort of flat green. So we can see there. So it's gonna match the overall bike. The customer, they would rather have these new fenders than have maybe an exact match with the camo. It's still gonna look very nice because that shade of green is still what is mostly present in that camo. But the only thing is, one of the fenders was not currently available new in this flat green. So we can see it's a sort of different color here. So we are actually gonna refinish this one and spray it to match the other one. So that is gonna be awesome. I know our technician today was fine-tuning the paint for his air sprayer to color match. So that's kind of the plan on this bike. I know it's changed a little bit from the initial introduction, because as we were taking things off, as we were going through the evaluation, it was just getting to be a bit more than we expected, a bit more than the customer even knew was there. So we just wanted to explore the most cost-effective solution, and that was it with replacing those fenders. And we can see that's the same flat green there on the windshield. So it's gonna really look great, and we'll keep you updated through the process here. We're making awesome progress on the gear up. We can see here the fender has been installed in the seats, as well as the sidecar fender. And these are the brand new ones I just showed you, including even all the hardware is new, all this new stainless steel hardware. It all looks awesome. And looking underneath, we can see the chip guard that's been applied and all the new hardware. It really looks quite amazing. Now with the bike up on the lift a bit higher, we can get a better look at the chip guard, protective coating on the underside of the sidecar. It all looks awesome. And of course the frame has been refinished as well in some of the needed areas. And this color really looks awesome. We had talked about you can't get these fenders anymore brand new with this color scheme, this camo scheme already on them. But this shade of green really already matches partially that original color. And it really looks, it looks really good. You would walk up to this bike and you wouldn't really know there's anything out of the ordinary as far as the color goes. So now getting a better look with it up in the air here. And once again, all the new hardware. And then now with this protective coating on the inside of the new fenders, and of course on the underside of the sidecar body, it's really gonna be protected very nicely for a long time. And this is the fender that we actually color matched and painted here. And the technician did an amazing job on that. We can see it literally, it pretty much exactly matches. I don't want to say pretty much, I would just say it exactly matches, especially by eye. It looks spot on. We did an awesome job there with the paint mixing. And once again, just all the fresh hardware. Of course, some of this suspension has been refinished as well. And the bike is just coming together very nicely. It's very soon going to be finished, but before the technician was reinstalling some of the wheels on it, I just wanted to show you to get a better look at where our reconditioning is at right now. And now we have the Ural off the lift, and it's all back together, and it's looking amazing. Remember what these fenders look like at the beginning? Well, now check it out. We've got all new fenders, which means new paint. And of course, I did just show you the undercoating and all the new hardware. Now with the bike on the ground and the shadows, it's a bit harder to show that, but we have already seen it. I just wanted to get a final look at the completed bike, and it just looks so, so nice. So we've got, of course, all the wheels on as it's sitting on its own weight. The suspension's back together. The fenders are on properly. All the wiring has been run properly. Checking out the underside there. Now with the bike on the ground, like I said, with those new fenders, nothing looks out of the ordinary, even though they aren't in that same camo. And we know the customer is gonna be very, very happy. Especially with those tractor seats and the accessories this customer has, it looks really nice. A while ago, we had actually applied the chip guard to the inside of the sidecar. And then at that time, I believe it was a few years ago, we had called out some of the other things starting on the bike. So now, you know, the customer brought it in to have everything else taken care of. But I thought it was a good opportunity to show you this chip guard because we can see how well it holds up there. And we can see as well, the customer has modified the sidecar, taken out that cushion and the mount there, looks like for their dog. So that's pretty awesome there. But I just wanted to show you that final outcome, super satisfying. If you have a Ural, or really any motorcycle, or even full-size automobiles for that matter, that need some reconditioning, cosmetic reconditioning, mechanical reconditioning, we can really do it all here. So feel free to call us at 978-263-9000, or send us an email at service@alphacars.com. And even if you're not local to us, you can ship your vehicle to us. We have many shipping partners, so we can handle all that. And a lot of our kind of biggest, most involved jobs have been people shipping their vehicles to us because they want to use a service department or a shop with a real attention to detail. And that's who we are here at AlphaCars. We really have a passion for perfection. So this has been Ian reporting from our Boxborough Service Center. Please leave a like on this video so it gets recommended to others, and subscribe so then you don't miss out on the latest Ural content.